I've got an important question for you. What is your spiritual vision, your grand vision for your life? What do you want to be remembered for doing? It's an important question. And if you're anything like I was for a long time, it might be the question that's been quietly nagging you for years without you even realizing it. So in this video, I will break down this overlooked step in building your ideal life. I will dive into why having a grand vision is so important and why you may be putting up resistance to creating a vision for your life. So let's dive in. And here's something I have to share, something I've needed to share that I haven't really talked about even publicly or on this channel until recently. It's this. I felt something was off when it came to building my ideal life. I struggled with this concept of having a grand vision. I had supported my family's powerful spiritual visions, and they are powerful. For example, my wife, her vision is awesome. It's about helping young girls in villages in third world countries where they don't have the opportunity for education. It's building schools for them. And my daughter, she just wants to help oppressed people in parts of the world where survival is a daily battle. And these visions are awesome and they're alive in them. And when they talk about their dreams and aspirations, you can feel the fire in them. And yet, I didn't feel the same fire about anything. And the truth is, I felt guilty about it. And I thought, what's wrong with me? Am I a bad person? Why can't I feel the same clarity or have the same passion? I had this idea in my head that maybe my role was just to support their visions, to build something strong that would outlive me, to leave a legacy through them. But it didn't hit my heart either. There was something missing there, and I just didn't know what it was. I felt like I was building someone else's dream, and it wasn't calling to me. And for a long time, I just buried that feeling. I stayed busy. I worked on my program. I coached. I wrote articles. I built the businesses. Stayed active, but I kept doing the same things that society says should feel meaningful. But deep down, there was this quiet frustration. A sense that something important was missing, and my business pursuits felt like they weren't hitting on all cylinders. They were hitting a wall. And if you're being honest with yourself, maybe you know that feeling too. So what was the turning point? Well, it wasn't until my wife and daughter, the very ones I had been quietly supporting, turned around and coached me up. Man, did they coach me up, challenging me to go inward, go deeper, to stop trying to think my way to a new vision, to sit in silence, to reflect, and to write. And bam, that's when it clicked. Writing has always been my inner voice, escaping to the outside. I had forgotten how powerful that connection was. I've written a novel. I've got another one in the works. I've published 3 children's books, and I have hundreds of articles on leadership, mindset, and life-work balance. Writing wasn't just something I did. It was where my heart lived. And when I finally allowed myself to get quiet enough and sit still enough and be real enough, this spiritual vision emerged. It emerged naturally. So here it is. My spiritual vision is to connect with people across the world through my writing, to inspire them to explore places in my stories, to imagine worlds they've never seen, and through my storytelling, to lift people up, to offer an escape when it's needed, and more importantly, to offer hope so that escape isn't needed anymore. That vision felt real. That vision felt good. It felt alive. And it gave me a different kind of fuel. Not the frantic, grinding kind, but the steady, clear, meaningful kind. This is why this matters more than you think. In fact, you might be wondering, okay, Matt, nice story, but what does this have to do with me? Well, if you're like the high-achieving professionals I work with, leaders, entrepreneurs, and executives, you probably already have a lot of success on paper. And you've checked off many of the traditional life boxes. Great career with a good title, decent income, family, status, and yet you feel disconnected. maybe even a little numb, maybe even quietly suffocating under it all? Does that sound familiar? Does that resonate with you? It's not because you're broken or anything like that. It's because you're misaligned. You're misaligned with your deeper why, without a personal, meaningful vision that lights up your heart. Not your resume, not your bank, but your soul. Even your biggest achievements, your biggest successes can start to feel hollow. You don't need another productivity hack. You don't need another course on efficiency. You don't even need another checklist. You need something that most of us were never taught how to find. They didn't teach us in school. Maybe they should, but you need your own spiritual vision, the thing that reminds you why you do what you do. Nah, the resistance is real. And let me be clear, finding your vision isn't always a light bulb moment, right? I mean, boom, hey, I've got it. Sometimes it's something that you just can't sit down and force. I mean, it took me decades and some serious inner work. I mean, I was frustrated. And finally, mine surfaced. The writing surfaced. And for many of us, especially if you spent your entire life achieving for others, pleasing others, meeting expectations, there's a lot of internal resistance to even asking the question, what do I really want my life to stand for? I mean, you might even feel a bit selfish even thinking about it. And you might feel scared that you won't have the answers. You might even be afraid of how much you would have to change if you admitted the truth about not having a vision. And that's normal. It's part of the journey. And honestly, it's a sign you're getting close. So, where do you start? Well, I'm not here to hand you a 5-step worksheet or lay it out in 5 quick tips. Man, that's not how a real vision works. But if you're willing to begin, to get still, to listen, you might just be surprised at what arises to the surface. So go now. Go sit in silence for a few minutes. Get out in nature. Go grab a journal and let yourself daydream a little without any judgment and ask yourself simple questions like, what brings me joy? What makes you happy? What activities make you feel alive and not just accomplished? And if you could make an impact in the world someday, what would it be? But don't force it. Just listen. Then trust the real answers will come. Trust they will. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they will come. So the bottom line, you don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to copy someone else's dream. And you don't need to apologize if your vision looks different than what you thought it should be. What you do need to do is you need to honor that deep part of you that is ready, maybe even desperate, to stop just surviving success and start actually living your vision. You have one life. Don't spend it building someone else's dream just because you're good at it. Find your vision. Find your vision. Even if it takes time, even if it's messy, I promise it will be worth it. Find that vision. Finally, I hope this video resonated with you. Go ahead and check out our website, MindFlowCycle.com. We got free resources there. You can even schedule a conversation with me. I would love to talk to you. Also subscribe and stay tuned because we will see you in the next video. Take care.